Hi everyone, welcome to the fourth session of the Political Education Project's Socialist Sunday School. This one's on women's oppression. I'm Natasha Josette and I'm one of the organisers of the Political Education Project.
And I'm Rosa Smith, a National Political Officer at Unite the Union, former Member of Parliament for Crewe and Nantwich, a local councillor and founding member of No Holding Back. I'm really pleased to be involved in the Political Education Project.
We're sharing this short video to help you prepare for our fourth Political Education Project online discussion. We hope you'll join us online live at 3 p.m. on Sunday the 28th of March for a session where we will be joined by an amazing panel who will lead a discussion, including Maxine, Peake and Nell.
As always happens in times of crisis, women are called on to do their bit. Just their bit is substantially more than most. Many of you have been like me and Sasha, trying to juggle childcare, homeschooling, work, and all of the things that fill our lives, just with the addition of a global pandemic thrown into the mix. COVID has shone a light on the reality of our broken system and what we've always known as socialists, that women are oppressed due to the nature of the capitalist system. From the WASPy women to #MeToo, from domestic violence soaring to the undermining of police brutality towards women. It's been clear that if we are to be equal, we need the system to change.
As socialists, we have to understand the world in order to change it. And although COVID has clearly shown the deep inequalities that exist, the oppression of women is not a new phenomenon.
We've picked some readings as well as a video link to stimulate the discussion at the Socialist Sunday School, and we'd encourage you to think about your own experiences. We welcome male participation and involvement in the discussion, and we'd encourage you to take the resources and share and discuss in your own reading groups ahead of the session. But we understand that lives are hectic, especially for women. And so if you can't manage all of the material, don't worry, you can still join in.
We have picked a piece by Rosa Luxemburg titled Women's Suffrage and Class Struggle, which highlights her commitment both to understanding the nature of our oppressive system and, most important, how to change it. Luxemburg certainly rejected the idea that simply because of her sex, she belonged in the socialist women's movement rather than in the general leadership.
Another reason for the special interest of this piece is that it handles a question that still in our day confuses would-be socialist feminists. The question of the class position of women, particularly working women. Luxemburg's view was that women were the fundamental force of the socialist revolution and that the two are interlinked. Written in 1912, we would ask simply, do you think her piece applies to society today? How can you compare what she writes to what we see happening today? Do you agree with Luxemburg and the point that she states that it is the proletarian woman's turn to make the capitalist state conscious of her maturity? This is done through a constant, powerful mass movement, which has to use all of the means of proletarian struggle and pressure. Is this possible in the society that we live in, where women have more time constraints and pressures, arguably, than ever before?
Our second reading is by Angela Davis, and it was written in 1981. It's titled Women, Race and Class, The Approaching Obsolescence of Housework, a Working Class Perspective. It's quite a long chapter, but to summarise, Angela Davis discusses a transformation in the role and status of women, especially black women in the 21st century. Her argument is basically the industrialisation and mass production of previously household commodities led to a revalued and devalued position for women who engaged in domestic work that was previously essential to the household.
She discusses how eventually sexism emerged as a source of outrageous super profits for the capitalists. With the onset of industrialism, the denouncement and demotion of women meant that they entered the economy at the same or worse level as the working class.
Angela highlights a significant and overlooked contribution by women, which is child-rearing. Women do the work of giving birth to, raising, disciplining and servicing the worker for production. As we've already mentioned, COVID has pushed women to the brink with the amount of responsibility laying at their door.
Discussions around housework and the change in roles of both men and women today is a critical issue, and one that's probably brought up the most on my WhatsApp groups with my lifelong female friends.
We are interested in using both of these pieces and really trying to get to grips with the system that has created the oppression of women. What does fighting back look like? How can change really be achieved? How do we stop women from being the ones left to pick up the pieces of COVID? How do we organise to make sure it is not women facing the bill for the economic crisis?
The final item for us to discuss in the Socialist Sunday School is based around a YouTube clip telling the story of the Dagenham strike, where the Ford sewing machinists went out on strike over equal pay. Many of you will be familiar with the dispute, and some of you will have watched the film, and we all know the huge impact that it had. Workers up and down the country are facing increasingly worrying times. Fire and rehire, redundancy, changing nature of work, just to name a few. How do we do what the Dagenham women did? Is it possible? How do we build that collective action? And what role can the trade unions play?
We really hope that you enjoy the readings and the video. And don't forget that the Political Education Project is about you. No thoughts are wrong, no opinions to be brushed aside. If you can explore the topic with your friends and family in the build up to the session, then please do.
So we will see you on the 28th of March. And if you can, encourage others to come and sign up and come along to the Zoom. It's going to be fun.